What's going on, everyone? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics. I saw a couple posts recently on Reddit that I thought were interesting, worthwhile to talk about. This first one here. I mean, I actually kind of feel bad for this person because I'm not trying to like crap on their friend too much, but friend isn't really helping them out on this on this book that they're looking to pick up. So they say deal or no deal on New Mutants 98. A friend of mine is going to sell comics at a comic show in Pittsburgh this weekend and has given me the option to buy his New Mutants 98 CGC 9.4 signature series signed by Rob Liefeld. He's asking $610. I haven't ever purchased any signed stuff. Is this a decent price? So the first thing I always kind of like to open up with this is that if you are spending hundreds of dollars on a graded book, you absolutely should have some type of pricing service, like either GPA or Go Collect or Cover Price. Now, because this is a signed book, your options really are GPA and Go Collect for the most part. Cover Price doesn't really do the signed stuff. So, I mean, they aren't that expensive. And if you save yourself, $50, that's many, many months of the service. And if you're buying things that are like this, like $600, you could easily have a $50+ difference in price, depending on the knowledge that you have going into that deal. So let's check out New Mutants 98 in a 9.4. Now, he doesn't say if it's direct or newsstand, but at this grade, there's not that much difference in price. So we're going to go to GPA first. And well, I guess first, if you're not aware, this is New Mutants 98, first appearance of Deadpool. Super popular book. And so if we go to GPA, we're going to look up the universal price first. So we're going to go down to a 9.4. You can see the 90-day average is $350, 12-month average $375, last sale $380. If we look into the details on this book, you can see in 2025 the average is $372. If we look at the prices, I mean, that seems pretty reasonable. We say, let's just say $370 or $375 for just the sake of ease of numbers to work with. Now, if it happened to be a newsstand, that is broken out as well. And you can see the newsstand 9.4 90-day is $396, last sale $335. The average for 2025 is $430. So it is more. There have been, that was $335, maybe a good deal. But, it's probably $50 more. So, I mean, it's not like a ton difference, but so we're just going to assume this is a direct. So the next thing you do is you just add in the signed books. And we're going to go down to the 9.4 and just signed by Rob Liefeld. And obviously this book is signed all the time. There's tons of graded books out there. So we're going to go down to just Liefeld. And you see here, you got the last sale, $645. The average for 2025 is $574. So $645, $600, $425, $700. The $425 is kind of a low. Maybe that pulled things down a bit. It's probably more like $600 to $615. And so, the person that's offering the book to them for $610, it's basically full market for the book. Now, I mean, if you're buying directly from your friend, you're probably saving on, whatever shipping and that kind of stuff. But that person that's selling it to you, they're also saving on probably any real fees. Now, maybe they wouldn't have any fees if they're selling at the show either. But like if you're selling on eBay or whatever else, you got like 15% fees, 12 to 15% fees, that kind of thing. I mean, like me, like I have a friend that I've sold a few books to before. And usually like when I'm selling to my friend, I'm giving them to him like pretty close to my cost. It's like, obviously you can't do that all the time, like if you're running a business, but like, this is your friend. It's like, if they're looking for this book, feel like you can give them a better deal than market. At least back out like the eBay fees, give it to them for like $550 or $525 or, something like that. But yeah, so like if I was, I'd be kind of annoyed, it's like, obviously you can't say anything. You can't like demand a deal from your friend, but yeah, this person, like they should absolutely get one of these services. They can price this stuff out themselves. You can see here, Go Collect. You also have the signature series. Now it's not broken out by the signer like it is in GPA. That's one of the things that's really nice. So you might have to scan through but you can get an idea why maybe one of those signed books sold for more than another. Maybe it had, a special signature or something like that that raised the price, special custom label or whatever it might be. But yeah, if you are buying books that are in this price range, you shouldn't just be relying on eBay. Just like fork over like the $10 a month roughly that it costs, get GPA or get Go Collect. Like I have them both, and just use that, and you'll find out that it's not a deal. You're paying market, but your friend's not doing you any favors. All right, now the next one. This one, this sometimes like you get these like rage bait, almost feels like type posts, and I don't know like how people miss some of these flaws. So it said, y'all think my grader was having a bad day, and like they just show like this picture and this picture of the back, and it's a 7.5, and then of course you get like all the people in the comments. I mean, like I'm not going to read it, but see all the stuff on the comments where people are like, oh, it must be a 9, blah 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 blah. Like grading is ridiculous, all this kind of thing. And I don't know if like maybe this person has like some visual problems or something like that, but the flaw on this one is super, super clear when you go and look at the cert number on CGC. So, because obviously you can't see anything like necessarily super clear here. It's a decent picture, but the angle and everything matters, right? Like in what you can see and the lighting. So we're going to go over to the CGC page and we're going to look up this cert number, 44677. So 44677 and then 30007. So here's that book. 7.5, Grader's Notes. Crease right center front cover, crease to left bottom back cover, spine stress lines cover. So if we go to the front cover, I mean, we can look at the spine. The spine looks pretty decent, and like the spine stress lines might be in the white. They make it really hard to see there, that kind of thing. But when you go to the right edge, you see the crease. It's this like really long crease right here. It breaks color. You're not pressing that out. I mean, let's zoom out. It's always kind of a little tougher to see. That crease is probably, looks like maybe 2.5 inches. It says there's a crease on the bottom of the back cover, but this is white. We're probably not going to be able to really see what, if anything, is there. That can be difficult. That's where you need to be able to see it yourself in person, to spot some of that kind of stuff. But like, this is a really obvious flaw. I don't know how, like the person says, they like in the comments, they're like, oh, I look close at it, I don't see anything. It's like, it's clearly there. And if you, like, I highly recommend using the ETA Nick like cheat sheet grader's notes if you're relatively new to grading or if you want something just quickly reference. So I'm just gonna look up here and we'll go ETA Nick cheat sheet. There you go. So people have asked about this before, and so this is the ETA Nick cheat sheet. You can see here it says creases, 2-inch crease. And obviously this isn't perfect. It's just from his experience submitting to CGC. He had a YouTube channel. He doesn't make videos anymore, but it's a very useful reference guide. You can see a 2-inch crease, 7.0 max. This book, I mean, that's at least a 2-inch crease. You should be pretty, it's not like super dark. So that's why I can see like maybe you give a little bit of like grace on the grader side where it's not like extremely color breaking, like bright white, but it's there. So a 7.5, like you should be happy that you got a 7.5 on that book. If you resubmit that book, I wouldn't be surprised if you got a 7. I don't think you'd get a 6.5. I think it's nicer than a 6.5. You should be expecting a 7, and I think a 7.5 is on this a little bit on the stronger side. So yeah, if you're ever looking for this thing, like here it is. It is a really good reference guide. And I mean, this one is like, the notes say exactly where it is. That's why I get it that like you can't see it really in this picture, like that lighting or whatever. It's like you can't really see that crease. But I mean, if you've got this thing in person, you've got to be able to see this crease, right? Like if I can see it here on the CGC scan, like you got to be able to see that. And so like, yeah, it's a 7.5, a 7 to a 7.5 roughly. Do not crack that book out. Do not resubmit the book. The CGC grader was not having a bad day, nothing like that. But these are the kinds of things that, like, if you're buying books on eBay or whatever and they're graded, you can use these types of sources to potentially get better pictures. Usually you start seeing the images, I think, around the 4.3. So if the cert number starts with a 4.3, you have a pretty good chance of having a picture there. I don't remember if 4.2s have it, but yeah, I mean, it's really helpful resources, and can help you with figuring out why books get the grades they get and all that kind of stuff, instead of posting here and then just getting all the anti-CGC garbage that you end up seeing in the in the comment section, when the reality is fairly graded. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this helps you out. Again, if you're buying higher dollar books, get a grading service, and CGC page. Like, now that they do these scans, these high-res scans, it's a really valuable resource as well. But hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and I will see you on the next one.